Brandon Boston just called out all his haters, and Sharif Cooper may have one flaw that not everyone is seeing, and we're going to get right into it. Now, before I get into this video, I just want to make sure you guys give a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications to get a new notification every time I upload a new video, and if you enjoy the content that I put out. Alright, let's get into it. Now, first and foremost, it has been a year since Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi have passed away, so I want to pay my respects to that first and foremost. Shout out to Kobe and Gigi for that. Now, Sharif Cooper, of course, has been the player that everyone is watching in college basketball to see how he's going to perform. I think Sharif is kind of a benchmark for when it comes to having clout in high school and being a popular player, and then transitioning to college and seeing how you will play. And I think he's honestly one of the best players transitioning from high school into college basketball. Now, I want to put up a graphic here that shows how Sharif Cooper has been doing for all the games that he's played, and honestly, I think he is doing great. The amount of assists he has and the way he really impacts his entire team and gets everyone involved is unmatched compared to a lot of other point guards in college basketball. Now, the one thing that is a huge gripe about college basketball and players who have clout and come to play at such a high level is separating the clout from their actual talent. A lot of people see points and they think automatically that this player is a bucket, he can do whatever he wants on the court. And to be honest, I fell for it too. A lot of times I said great things about Sharif Cooper, but didn't highlight some of the key factors that a lot of you guys pointed out in the comment section down below, and pointing out Sharif Cooper, of course, gets his teammates involved, is excellent at passing the ball, and really affects all his players on the court. But one issue that he does have is shooting. Now, of course, the three-point shot is his biggest issue, and I'm gonna be honest, Sharif Cooper does have a little bit of a unique form where when he shoots, he's leaning back and shoots the ball up. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna critique his form, because if the ball goes in, it goes in. It's really whatever at the end of the day. But Sharif Cooper, something that he does need to work on is his three-point shooting percentage, and I would say his shooting in general. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is one thing that can hold him back from being a higher draft prospect, because of course, being at that height, Sharif Cooper is not that tall, and being that tall, you're going to need to be able to shoot in the NBA if you do get to that point, because of course, everyone is much taller than you, and it's going to be hard for him to really get to the rack and score points. But on the other hand, I think Sharif Cooper will still be able to get his teammates involved. Now, he's listed at about 6 feet tall, which of course for the NBA, that is extremely short. You have guards like Steph Curry and Chris Paul who are around 6'3", I would say, and then you have Sharif, who's only 6 feet tall. Now, that is going to be a challenge for sure, but I think the way he impacts his team and really gets other teammates involved is one thing that really makes him unique. He's definitely a pass-first guard, but also knows how to score the ball and get a bucket when the team needs it. Now, if he can really improve that three-point shooting, and I would say his shooting overall, I think this would make his draft stock sevenfold and make him such a better prospect. He's already probably gonna be a top pick in the NBA draft, but making this one improvement would change things for him for sure. Now, on the other hand, it's kind of strange because Sharif Cooper honestly was shooting pretty well in high school from what I saw in the footage that I've seen. It seems like he shot pretty well in high school and didn't have a problem with three-point shooting at all, but all of a sudden when he got to college at this bigger stage, maybe because there are better defenders guarding him and he's playing against a lot higher competition, of course, since it's college basketball, than he was in high school, and maybe that is the difference between his three-point shooting percentage. I would say his shooting percentage overall. But at the end of the day, I think every player has something, a weakness that they're going to need to improve on, and Sharif is doing a great job so far. He's only played in 5 games and he is doing great, and of course he practiced a lot less with the guys and the teammates because of those eligibility issues he had earlier on. But now we're just gonna have to wait and see how he does perform in the long run. But honestly, I can't see why he wouldn't be a draft pick. I would say the biggest thing he needs to improve on is his jump shooting, but if he can improve that, man, I don't see why he can't be a draft pick for sure. Now, on the other hand, we do have Brandon Boston, and of course, like I keep saying, this guy has so much pressure on him to perform. Man, being a McDonald's All-American, one of the highest ranked players in the country, and all eyes are going to be on you at Kentucky. Now, Brandon Boston, of course, was struggling in the beginning of the season. A lot of people were pointing to the fact that he was inconsistent while playing on the court, and that's going to be a huge issue regardless. And of course, Kentucky's team did not have the best record, and there were a bunch of top teams, Kentucky, Kansas, and Duke that were not ranked in the top 25, which is unheard of. But Brandon Boston just said this about his struggle.
And how do you go about blocking out the noise that's there in Big Blue Nation and only listening to Coach Cal? Tell me how you go about it.
You know, I love this game, and I won't let nobody knock me off my pivot because I have great confidence in my work ethic, and I feel like as long as I keep working, everything I want is going to come.
Now, it takes a level of mental toughness to be able to block out all the extra noise and just listen to his coach and really tune in to the game of basketball. And Brandon Boston, one of these guys who I can see is going to be a great player in the near future. He just has to put everything together. But of course, he wasn't playing as well as a lot of people thought. But his two most recent games, he actually had two 18-point games, which is impressive for him. And I think overall, he's just going to mold into that player. Although he may not get drafted and put his name into the draft this year, I think overall, if you give him another year, I think he'll be able to make things a lot more smooth and play better on the court and more consistently. Not every player is going to be able to be a one and done and transition right from high school to college basketball. It's a huge transition, but Brandon Boston is doing his best, and I think eventually he is going to smooth into that player that we all know he can be, that McDonald's All-American, that top prospect that everyone saw. I think it's just going to take him a little bit of time. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Is he overrated? Is Brandon Boston not the player we all thought he would be? Is he overrated, or does he really have that talent that we know he has? Now, lastly, Joshua Christopher. Man, I can't say enough good things about this dude. Of course, he was a McDonald's All-American as well, ranked very highly in his class. He was actually ranked 11th player in the country. He's a 6'4", about 215. But this guy transitioning from high school to college basketball is insane. I don't think I've seen such a great transition, and he's one of these guys who of course had clout in high school. Everyone knows J-Gup and J-Gup, Joshua Christopher, and Dior Johnson played together at Mayfair Academy at one point, and man, things were going crazy. Dior was throwing up lobs to Joshua Christopher and getting buckets the whole time, and Joshua Christopher is averaging 15 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist per game, which is good for a freshman. After seeing him play, he really seems like he came on the court and was extremely comfortable being the go-to guy to score the ball. He has no problem scoring the ball, and he really seems smooth on the court. I am surprised because a lot of these guys do not have this smooth of a game and struggle in a couple games transitioning, but he seems like he transitioned very well. Now, I'm expecting him to get drafted easily just because, of course, the way he's playing, the level he's playing, coming into Arizona State, I think he is one of the best players on that team, and if he doesn't get drafted, I'd be very surprised for sure. Now, I want you guys to comment down below as well. Do you think Joshua Christopher is overrated? Like I said, he's averaging 15 points per game as a freshman. That is very good, especially at Arizona State. You are playing a lot of great teams in that college basketball. So you guys let me know. Do you think he's overrated or not? Now, comment down below. Do you think Sharif Cooper is overrated? Man, his three-point percentage is looking a little shaky. Do you think he's overrated, or do you think he is as good as we thought he was? Let me know in the comments down below. As well as BJ Boston, man. Is he overrated? Is he not really a McDonald's All-American, or is he as good as we thought? And Joshua Christopher, man, do you think he is going to get drafted? How good do you think he is? Rate him 1 to 10 in the comments down below. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications to get a new notification every time I upload a new video. So, I'm out.